Hi guys! Welcome back to my vlog. So it's Saturday today and it's currently 9:07 in the morning. So today's agenda will be a review day since I have an exam on Monday. Yes, I have an exam in basic calculus, but I don't think that's basic, because I can't remember our topic that we've discussed. My god. But I think I know someone who can help me. Let's call her. Hi, Jam. Can you help me? Oh, for sure you will because you have no choice.
Hey there, Crystal. I think I knew it. It's all about basic calculus, right?
OMG! How did you know?
Duh! You forgot to leave the meeting last time, and Miss Camille thought that you were sleeping the whole period.
Oh, that's embarrassing. But I didn't sleep that time. It's just the internet always fluctuating and I already messaged Miss Camille about that. But anyway, can you really help me?
Of course I can, but will you allow it if I just send a video tutorial with Max, Haina, and Ash?
You're the best. I'll wait for it. Thank you so much, Jam.
No problem. Just wait. Bye.
Bye.
Hello there. We are your bright tutors for today.
What's up, Crystal? I am Ashley, and I'm your cutest tutor.
Hi Crystal, I'm Haina and I am your prettiest tutor.
Annyeong Crystal! I'm Maxine and I am your brightest/smartest tutor. I know you are excited to learn today, but before we start, let me remind you that our video has 3 objectives. First is to show the limits of function using table of values and graphs. Second is to show the limits of function using limit laws, and the third objective is to know the limits of function using algebraic techniques. So, come on, let's begin.
So without further ado, let's start discussing limits. But first, what is a limit? A limit refers to its intended value as x approaches a specific value. Now that you have already learned the definition of limits, let's proceed to the 9 limit laws that will be discussed by our cutest tutor, Ash.
Thanks, Jam. As Jam stated, we have 9 limit laws. These are the constant rule, identity rule, sum rule, difference rule, constant multiple rule, product rule, quotient rule, power rule, and root rule. Now that we've learned the 9 limit laws, here is your prettiest tutor to discuss 6 algebraic techniques. Haina?
Hi Crystal! As you can see on your screen, we have 6 algebraic techniques to take note of. First on the list is the direct substitution, followed by factoring, getting the least common denominator or LCD, expand the function, rationalization, and last but not the least, evaluating absolute value. And that's it. I think it's now time to test your understanding of our topic. Here is your brightest smartest tutor together with your cutest tutor to give you a function to answer.
Hello! This time we will have a function wherein we will show its limit using a table of values, graphs, limit laws, and algebraic techniques.
Let's start! The first given is the limit of 4x minus 13 as x approaches 4. Given the table of values, we consider values of x that are close to 4 approaching from the left and the right. As you can see, the values of x are really approaching 4. After writing the values of x that are close to 4, we can now substitute those values of x to the given function. Take note that you may use your calculator so that it will be easier for you. So let's start from the left. Substituting 3.9 to our function will give us 2.6. Next, 3.99 will give us 2.96. Next, 3.999 will give us 2.996. And lastly, 3.9999 will give us 2.9996. We're done from the left, so let's proceed to the right. Substituting 4.1 to our function will give us 3.4. Next, 4.01 will give us 3.04. Next, 4.001 will give us 3.004. And lastly, 4.0001 will give us 3.0004. As you notice, our values from the left and the right are approaching 3. And substituting 4 to our function will also give us 3. Therefore, the limit of this function is 3.
That's it! Now let's have your cutest tutor to answer the graph.
Let's start graphing. We will graph our function using the application called Desmos. The first thing that we need to do is to write our function, which we will type in as f of x is equal to 4x minus 13. By doing so, we will be able to see the graph of the function. After that, we can see that the limit of this function is 3. Okay, done. Next, we move to the limit loss.
Now let us answer the limits of the function using limit loss.
Now, based on our given function, let us determine and answer the applicable limit loss. So the function is limit of 4x minus 13 as x approaches 4. The first thing we do is apply the difference rule and separate them. The limit of 4x as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 13 as x approaches 4. Next, can you determine what law can we apply? Of course, we can apply constant multiple rule. So let us separate the constant to our variable. It will become 4 limit of x as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 13 as x approaches 4. Next laws that we can apply are the identity and constant rule for the limit of 4x as x approaches 4 and the limit of 13 as x approaches 4. So the last thing we do is to substitute and solve. 4 times 4 is 16 and 16 minus 13 is 3. So therefore, the limit of the given function is 3.
Alright, we are now down to our last objective to be discussed by your cutest tutor.
That's right. Now, we need to know limits of function using algebraic techniques. The algebraic technique that we will be using in this function is direct substitution. Our given function is the limit of 4x minus 13 as x approaches 4. First, we need to substitute x with its value, which is 4. Then, we will have 4 times 4 minus 13. 4 times 4 is equal to 16, and we will just copy minus 13. 16 minus 13 is 3. Therefore, the limit of the given function is 3. And that's it! We already accomplished our objectives.
Oh wait, I know you're still confused. But don't worry, there is one more function to be discussed by your prettiest tutor together with Jam so that you will be more enlightened.
That's right. So, let's have another function. So, in this example, the given is the lim of x squared minus 16 over x minus 4 as x approaches 4. Given the table of values, we consider values of x that are close to 4 approaching from the left and the right as what we did in the first example. After writing the values of x that are close to 4, we can now substitute those values of x to the given function. So let's start from the left. Substituting 3.9 to our function will give us 7.9. Next, 3.99 will give us 7.99. Next, 3.999 will give us 7.999. And lastly, 3.9999 will give us 7.9999. We're done from the left, so let's proceed to the right. Substituting 4.1 to our function will give us 8.1. Next, 4 8.01 will give us 8.01. Next, 4.001 will give us 8.001. And lastly, 4.0001 will give us 8.0001. Finally, substituting 4 to our given function will give us 0 over 0. Therefore, this function is indeterminate, but in order for us to get the limit of this function, we can use algebraic techniques which will be discussed later on by our prettiest tutor. For now, let us first have the graph.
Alright, so let's start graphing. We will graph our function using the application called Desmos. The first thing that we need to do is to write our function, which we will type in as a limit of x squared minus 16 over x minus 4 as x approaches to 4. By doing so, we will be able to see the graph of the function. As we can see, our function is undefined, which means it is indeterminate, and we need to use algebraic techniques to find the limit. Next, let's have the limit laws.
Alright, now we move on to the limit laws. So let's start. Now, based on our given function, let us determine and answer the applicable limit laws. So the function is lim of x squared minus 16 over x minus 4 as x approaches 4. The first thing we do is apply the quotient rule, which is the lim of x squared minus 16 as x approaches 4 over limit x minus 4 as x approaches 4. The next rule that we will apply is the difference rule and separate them. The limit of x squared as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 16 as x approaches 4 over the limit of x as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 4 as x approaches 4. Next, let's determine what law we can apply in the next step. We can apply the power rule, so it's the quantity of the limit of x raised to 2 as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 16 as x approaches 4 over the limit of x as x approaches 4 minus the limit of 4 as x approaches 4. So let's proceed to the next rule, which is the identity and constant rule. For the limit of x squared as x approaches 4 and the limit of 16 as x approaches 4 over the limit of x as x approaches 4 and the limit of 4 as x approaches 4. So the last thing we do is to substitute and solve. 4 squared is 16 and 16 minus 16 is 0. And lastly, 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. So therefore, the given function is 0 over 0, thus it is indeterminate. And now, we move to our last objective that will be discussed by our prettiest tutor, Haina.
Okay, let's start. Now, since the answer we got is indeterminate, it implies that we need to apply other algebraic techniques in order to get the limit. In this given, we are going to apply the factoring method. X squared minus 16 is equivalent to the quantity of x minus 4 times the quantity of x plus 4. Then, copy the denominator. Next, cancel the common factors, which is x minus 4. Now that the function is simplified, we can proceed to direct substitution. Therefore, the limit of x squared minus 16 over x minus 4 as x approaches to 4 is equal to the limit of x plus 4 as x approaches to 4. Substitute x into 4. 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. Therefore, the limit of the function is 8. That's all for today. I really hope you've learned and understood the lesson. So, yeah, see you soon!
Good luck for your test on Monday!
Fighting Tell, you got this.
True! I know you got this! May you remember the lesson that we've taught you today, Tel. Good luck and God bless!
already watched the video. Thank you so much, Jam.
You're welcome, Crystal. I'm sure you get a high score in your exam on Monday.
I wish. Thank you again. I'll treat you all to some gifts now when we meet.
Sounds exciting. I'll let them know. Haha, bye. See you soon.
Bye.